When you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something. That's right. Let's go. Yeah, when you're feeling down and you're out, like you got nothing but doubt, you're alone in the crowd, just trying to figure it out. All that is cloud and this money got you feeling left out. Listen up to me now, every word that's out of my mouth. Wake up, it's me. You gonna follow your dreams, or are you just gonna be another cog in the scene? You feel the hope in this beat, yeah, the hope that you need to proceed and be exactly what you want it to be. I feel right and I'm proud, hype and I'm loud. I'ma shout all about how I feel in the now. Ain't nobody ever gonna try to change me till I'm dead, pushing up daisies. I'm alone in the crowd, I won't feel down. I got hope right now, and I know I'll be found. I don't really care just what all other haters gotta say. I know everything I do is gonna make them fade away, yeah. And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something, yeah. Then all you really need is hope. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's what you need when you're down, need when you're out. It's what you need when you're sad and when you feel left out. You feel an energy drought and then creeps out, but with a little bit of hope you can figure it out. Keep your head high even when you're down inside. Through the pain you fight and through the painful nights you keep striving, keep trying, keep driving, rising, keep thriving, surviving. Nothing's in your way but yourself. Don't need nobody's help. You can make it through this hell. Take it one step at a time, one step as you climb. If you fail you'll be fine. Get back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven. This life is a prison if you don't have vision. You're in it to win it, so get it, don't miss it. Your chances now, so be something somehow. Don't let yourself down. That's right. Sometimes all we really need is hope.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? Hi Daniel Kelly. Hi Honey Weasel. Hi In the Bushes, Donna Burns. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Hi Savvy's Aunt. Hi Anna. Snickers. Hi Sherry. Petunia. Hi Annie Lou. Hi Jen Joya. Already hit the like. That's what's up. That's how we roll. Already hit the like. So, yeah, not good news, guys. Actually, I want to say it was like 18 minutes after I ended my live last night that he was found, or that it was announced that he was found. So, and it's weird because we still don't know what happened. We still have no answers. And like the police are being oddly quiet about it all, in my opinion. They're not really telling us much of anything. Let me see. The Facebook page, of course, is run by family, and so you don't get updates there because the family is obviously going to be grieving right now. They just lost their brother, their cousin, their friend, their fiance, all the things. Hi, Amanda Page. How are you? Hi, Dina. Yes, thank you for doing updates on Harmony's case. Yes. Okay, so my plan is with Harmony's case. So I have the video from this morning. We're going to watch it from their jury selection. This judge, guys, I don't know how I feel about the process so far. I'm going to hold out on my opinion about, how I like her or don't like her personally until we get further into the trial, obviously. But after being spoiled so much by Judge Greg Warner, in the Gannon Stout case, it is very difficult to watch this jury selection, and you guys will see why. I feel like the process was so easy with Judge Warner, but this is it's like I don't know. It's just weird how she does it. So, oh, sorry, dog just barked right next to me. Hold on one second. They're gonna bark for a second. So we will talk about that though after we look at this article about Dr. John. So let me show you guys what we know. So it says body of missing Missouri ER doctor found in Arkansas, family says. Dr. John was last heard from in text messages around 7 a.m. on Monday the 21st. His brother Richard said authorities called the family Tuesday night to say his brother was found deceased. The body of a Missouri emergency room doctor who has been missing for more than a week has been found in northwest Arkansas, his brother told the Associated Press on Tuesday. Dr. John was last heard from an okay, that's the part that I just read. So they're still waiting for family members are still waiting for more details from the detectives. Messages left with the Missouri State Highway Patrol were not immediately returned. Police said Dr. John was reported missing when he failed to show up for work on Monday the 21st at Mercy Hospital in Cassville, a town of 3,100 residents in the deep Missouri Ozarks. Blow this up a little bit because I don't have my glasses on. His black Infiniti was found parked in a remote area near an aquatic park in Cassville. The car was unlocked and his wallet, two phones, laptop, we know his passport, and a briefcase were in there as well as other items. It doesn't seem like a person who left with a plan, Richard told the AP earlier Tuesday night. Right now, we really don't have any breaks in the case, and I'm confused and worried, and I don't like this one bit. So they searched a 9-mile radius whenever he first went missing around the park. We talked about this last night. So if you guys missed last night's video, I strongly encourage you to go and watch that video because we watched the little police report and we looked at the map and all the different things surrounding this case. But like the cop, while he was talking about it, he just seemed very uninterested because this, in their opinion, was no foul play and adult left, especially with the fact that this man was ordered to pay child support and not just any child support. He was also ordered to pay alimony and not a small amount. Like, let me show you. This is from the judgment. Let me show you guys this so that if any of you guys think that this is rumor and stuff like that, it's not. This is directly from the judgment. And so this is the judgment on the dissolution. It says judgment and decree of dissolution of marriage. Petitioner appears with counsel. Ryan F. Ricketts. Respondent does not appear. However, respondent executed a voluntary entry of appearance and waiver of service and process on April 18th of 2022. Custody and visitation per the parenting plan attached as Exhibit 1, the court orders the respondent to pay the petitioner the sum of $3,999 per month for child support payable through the Family Support Payment Center in Jefferson City, Missouri. So that was his child support was $4,000. Such child support payments shall commence on May 15th of 2023. And the 15th of each month thereafter, further order of this court division in property and debt per the degree of the court orders the husband to pay wife the sum of $15,000 per month commencing on May 15th of 2023 and the 15th of each month thereafter until further order of this court or until the remarriage of the wife or death of the husband. Such maintenance payments shall be paid to the Family Support Payment Center in Jefferson City. That goes until he dies or she remarries. If I was her, I would have stayed single for the rest of my life, right? Because you're getting 15 grand a month because you were married to him. I still don't know how long exactly they were married. I didn't look into that. I did find the fiance. We told you, I said that, you know, people were going to find her. We found her. I did find the fiance. I'm not going to put her on blast just because I don't think we need to. New info just came out about Dr. John. Snickers, can you send it to me somewhere, please? So, Barbara Ann, I see what you're saying about suicide, and I can understand where you would have thought that, right? Because this man, like, how is he going to pay this? What is he going to do? Like, whatever, right? But he was found 60 miles from where his car was left. 60 miles. So either he drove himself there and somebody took his car back, or somebody dropped him off there, or whatever. Like, I don't see suicide in that. It's just too far of a distance. He did not walk 60 miles and then kill himself. Yeah, she definitely had a good attorney. I was looking up Missouri and what the standard is, and typically you have to pay it for 1 year for every 3 years of marriage. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 1 year for every 3 years that you were married, and that the minimum had to be at least 10 years of marriage before that happened. He was shot? Oh my goodness. No, Snickers, let me make you a mod, and then you can drop a link for me. He was shot? Goodness, where are you guys seeing this? I had to have literally just come out. Let me give you a wrench, and then you can drop the link for me. It must have been the cryptocurrency. Yes, enemies that he had. That's what I'm thinking. I really think that this has to do with his business. I know, I'm sorry, I gotta fix my words, guys. I don't know if you've seen that, but Pascal had lost his monetization and he got it back, thankfully. They did fix it overnight, but we have to be really careful with the wording that we use in our chats and in our talking, and I've never been a person to say that, but watching creators get demonetized and lose their channels left and right, it has been crazy. Has been crazy. Okay, thank you so much. That will work. Appreciate it. Wow. A kayaker found him. Unbelievable. I never thought whenever I covered this yesterday that it was going to be, like, solved so quick and that they were gonna find him. So it says, "New info in John's death. Benton County, Arkansas investigators confirmed that a kayaker found what appears to be Dr. John's body in the water with a gunshot wound yesterday. He had gone missing from Caseville, Missouri on May 21st. It's about 40 minutes north of where he was found." And so this is their press release and says on May 31st, which is today, it says body of missing Caseville doctor found deceased. It says on May 30th at approximately 4:43 p.m., Benton County deputies received a 911 call from a kayaker. The kayaker located a body in the water near the bank across from the Lost Bridge South area. Dr. Dr. John was found deceased in the water with what appears to be a gunshot wound. They are working on his death investigation alongside. Thank goodness that they have Benton County helping with this because that sheriff's office is so small and Missouri State Police. Good, good, good. So they do have some bigger agencies in helping with this now. It just, it's frustrating. You know, a lot of times, oh, thank you, criminality. A lot of times these doctor or these families know their loved ones, right? Yeah, since he passed, he no longer pays. So this does not benefit the ex-wife at all. You know, people are throwing a lot of stuff at the ex-wife and were accusing her and different things. Why would she have been involved? Like that doesn't make any sense. This was $19,000 a month that she would have been receiving from him. And so that would be motivation for him to live a long, happy life, in my opinion. And so I don't think it involves her at all. I am extremely concerned with the crypto stuff. Yeah, I'm glad he got his channel back too. Thank you, Pamela. Hi, Carrie Bishop. The ex-wife got his money while he was alive. Curious who gets his money now that he's deceased. I would assume that he would have some type of will and testament involved with his children or something along those. Yeah, I don't think the ex-wife has any motivation. Right. The brother said that they had one angry person, but they were not in the area. They had said that the angry person was overseas. So that's crazy. So he was for sure murdered then. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, here is this. Links aren't working for you. It's okay. I'm gonna show them. Okay. So it says missing Missouri doctor found shot to death in lake, police say. And I'll put these in Discord afterwards as well so that you guys can look through them. So, the Missouri emergency room doctor who suddenly vanished a week ago was found fatally shot Tuesday in a lake in Arkansas, the police told the Daily Beast. So, again, they put out the press release saying that around 4:43 p.m. on May 30th, deputies received a call from the kayaker about the body in the water across from the Lost Bridge South area. So, he was found deceased in the water with what appears to be a gunshot wound. It's the same thing we just read. Says the grim news comes more than a week after the 48-year-old ER doctor was reported missing after he failed to show up for his evening shift at Mercy Hospital in Caseville, Missouri on May 21st. His car was found unlocked at a park minutes away from the hospital. My brother is dead. He has been found, Richard told the Daily Beast on Tuesday evening. On Wednesday, he was still waiting for authorities to provide more details about his older brother's death. His body was discovered in Benton County, Arkansas, according to Captain James of the Cassville Police Department, and will be officially identified following an autopsy. The missing physician, who moonlighted as a cryptocurrency creator, was last heard from at 7 a.m. that morning when he was texting his fiancee as he left the hospital. He was texting her things like, "Hey, my shift's over. See you in a little bit later." And then minutes later, he stops responding to messages and is seen walking towards his RV. Security footage shows his car pulling into the parking lot at the aquatic park in Cassville a short time later, and a white SUV pulling up near him a few minutes after that. I hope they got like the identification of the people in this white SUV. And then there was somebody in one of the areas that I was reading that said that there was also a blue van that kept circulating this area as well. And I haven't seen it mentioned in any of the articles, but it was somebody who was like at the park that day said that they kept seeing a blue van circulating around the same time that he would have been walking around in this park. So it says it leaves a few minutes later, and John is seen walking around maybe 10 to 15 minutes after that, and then he walks away from his car. When the doctor did not show up for his next shift later in the day, alarm bells went off. He wouldn't miss his shift even if his eyeballs were hanging out of his socket, his brother said. It was an immediate red flag. And I mean in the hospital reported him missing literally that night, right away. They notified people that he had not come in and started this investigation. So it's not like whoever did this had a very long time period or a window of opportunity. This happened pretty quickly. We had a patient's father kill one of our doctors, said he wanted to talk to him more about his son's death. That is so sad, Salty. That's awful. Yeah, Ozarks are no joke either. Lots of drugs. And so I had thought about a little bit the drugs in the area and the potential for that, because unfortunately this person driving up to him and then talking to him briefly and leaving, him walking and waiting around his car at this park and things like that, it honestly seemed to me kind of like a deal of some sort. Could he have been making some type of cryptocurrency trade? Like, I know people buy like Google Play cards and different gift cards and stuff like that and trade it for cryptocurrency or use it to buy cryptocurrency and things like that. Could it have been something like that, or could it have been something drug involved even? Doctors have access to a lot of different types of medications, prescriptions, and things like that. And I don't want to put anything on him. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that he was dealing drugs. It just, the whole interaction seemed shady and nefarious to me. Like, what was he doing at this park whenever he was supposed to be going to see his loving, doting fiance? What happened? And so we looked more into his business. I do have the business name and things like that I can share with you guys. Um, they have only been in business for a little bit over a year. And so I thought that was interesting too. And everything's in his brother's name. And so I'm curious how they have their agreement as far as how they split their funds and their assets and things like that. Would John's $19,000 a month payments, would that affect their business at all, and how much money he is able to put into or take from the business? So that's all questions that I have too, to be completely honest. So, John's son had said that he couldn't think of any logical conclusions as to why he would just vanish like this. He has a 23-year-old son. So, that was back whenever he was obviously missing. My heart breaks for his children. 7 kids. 7 kids left behind. It's just so many. Let me get this one. That kind of yeah, it's not inconceivable that he would have a side hustle. I agree. It it's strange to have an RV on the lot. I think it's not really that strange though for them. It's just something that he's done for a while because he originally lives in Springfield, and I'm guessing that since he was going through this divorce and things like that, that could have been a whole thing, right? Organized crime could have been drugs involved, things like that. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know enough about crypto and I wish I knew more, but I was kind of talking to somebody last night that was filling me in on some of the different things, you know? Crypto is a good way to wash money, also to hide money. Hi, Daddy, baby girl. How are you? The brother said money was not an issue, but who knows? We've seen others die over less money. I agree. I agree. So let me show you guys the business. Let me pull this up real quick. Mhm. Give me 1 second here. Open it. Okay. Let me see. Does this have his I don't wanna, like, dox his home phone number or anything like that. So let me just look over this real quick to make sure. I don't see, like, any home phone numbers or addresses or anything. I just wanted to don't wanna, put his brother's stuff out there. So this is the business. It's Ownfo LLC, and they have been active since April 5th of 2022. They are registered in Missouri, and they are a limited liability company, and like I said, everything is through his brother Richard and not through John. So, he's not even listed as like a secondary officer, and there's a couple different sites I can show you guys where it kinda looks at their businesses. Hi, Carrie G. Tardy. Uh-oh. Yeah, money is always an issue. It seems like, unfortunately oh, B. Tim knows a lot about it. B. Tim was talking with me about it. So I'm guessing he must have mentioned it on somebody's panel last night. Or you mean cryptocurrency? I was gonna say because he was helping me dig last night a little bit, and that's actually who I was talking to. So this one definitely has Richard's home address on it, so I'm not going to show this one. I don't wanna dox his address. But what it shows let me see if I can no, there's no way to do this one. Okay, let me show the other one. Let me see here. No, I'm not gonna be able to just gonna screenshot it maybe, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to unless I sit here and, like, scribble out everything. But anyway, so Richard had previously owned a company, but it was all the way back in 2005. And so, like I said, this one's only been since April. It's not really been going a very long time, but there was nothing under John's name. Hi, Mama Bear. Hi, Mariah. Yeah, the crypto. As much as he's on panel, it's so hard to like, I can't. He's everywhere all the time. Yes, money is surprisingly more important to people who have it. Agreed. He left his belongings in the car and the car unlocked. Seemed like his intent was to only be in the woods momentarily, possibly to do a transaction. Like he could have been meeting somebody. And that's what I thought. If you Okay, let's pull up the map again. Because he was right across the street from the hospital. There was no reason to be there unless he intentionally went there to meet somebody. It doesn't make sense otherwise. And so it has to be some type of transaction or deal or something. And so I'm glad that there was devices found and things like that because outside of that it doesn't make sense. Hopefully the police are able to get some type of information from all of his devices. Where did my pins go? Yeah, his panel pants are always on. Always. Okay. So he left this hospital around 7 a.m. Somebody told me that he was actually seen on hospital cameras around 11 a.m. walking by the RV, and then eventually his car is found over here. But like I said yesterday, there was no reason if his RV is parked near this property where he is able to just sleep in the RV in their parking lot in case because this hospital is obviously short staffed or whatever to have him on call to the point where he feels he needs to sleep in the parking lot. And so he had no reason to leave that parking lot except for to go see his fiance, who also does not live near this park. So there was no reason or purpose for him to drive here and to drive to this back part of this park and park there. You know, he didn't park in the regular parking lot. He parked back by where they mulch things. And where like tree limbs and things like that are left. Compost is what I was thinking. He parked back by the compost pile. Why he went to the hospital. He actually worked at the hospital. Oh, have a good day, Annie Lou. So he was a doctor at this hospital and he got off work at 7 a.m. He was scheduled to start his shift again at 7 p.m., but never showed back up. And so they reported him missing, called his family, all the things, because the man's never missed a day of work in 15 years. So, so for some reason, he went over here. He was then found 60 miles away. Keep in mind, his car was there. He did not drive his car to the location. So he got into somebody's vehicle, whose I don't know, and ended up 60 miles away. Let me see if I can pull up this location they're saying. I'm gonna find it again. Where's it at? Like what? It made me join the article to be able to pull it back up. Hate that. Now they're gonna send me junk mail. Where in the world? I know I read it. Here it is. Lost Bridge South area. I have no idea. Let's see here. We'll put that in, see what it comes up with. Let's try putting Arkansas. Okay, so here's the South area. So, I mean, that's a distance. Obviously, 60 miles, we know. It's just, what was he doing down here? Like, they just found him washed up on the shore here. Let's see if we can get down to the lake here. Imagine being this kayaker, like, that would have been so traumatizing to just be going out, just wanna chill, just wanna go out and enjoy the water and kayak for a little bit, and then you go to get into the water and bam, there's a body with a gunshot. We don't know if it was self-inflicted or not, we don't know. We don't know. It's just sad, like, this is a beautiful area, but this is where he was found, all the way over here. I found it, sorry. I totally just now looking at chat. You're at work, you got lost, you're gonna have to rewind. Lost Bridge South is a campsite. Thank you, Jen. So he originally went missing in Cassville, Missouri, and he was found at Lost Bridge from the South area in Arkansas, 60 miles away. Yeah, how did he get there? He did not walk 60 miles. He did not get here on his own. Somebody brought him here. It's okay. For those of you guys who are completely lost, I'm sorry. We covered this last night. We talked about Dr. John last night, and we covered him as a missing person. And then 18 minutes after I stopped my live, it was announced that he had been found deceased. And so we went through his whole case, all the details surrounding his case, you know, last night. And then today it's kind of like mind blowing because I had said last night I had a bad feeling and then bam, found deceased. I hate that. I don't like being right. Don't like being right whenever it's stuff like this. Hi, Dynamite. How are you? So it's crazy though. Yeah, like Memorial Day weekend. So who is the idiot that killed somebody and dumped their body in a popular lake to be visited over Memorial, like right before Memorial weekend? Did they really think that he wasn't going to be found? Yeah, somebody rolled and dumped. You just read about this. It is. It's really sad. It's really sad. And so here he is with 7 kids that now lost their dad. A fiance that lost her fiance, ex-wife, all that. Drugs, meth is big in Cassville. I'm not saying that it is, but it's a big possibility. Yeah, you definitely lean a lot more towards foul play now. It is horrible. It is horrible. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if there's a drug aspect to this or not. I have no clue if this guy has any type of history for drugs or whatever. Something caused him and his wife to get a divorce after enough years that he's ordered to pay her $19,000 for the rest, well, 15,000 for the rest of his life, which unfortunately ended 9 days ago. Proper restart. So, that's all I can say is just restart. What do they think happened? I don't know. We just got the press release minutes ago, JDR, saying that it was a gunshot wound to the head. Or well, not to the head. They didn't say hit to the head. They said a gunshot wound. I just assumed to the head. Sorry. That's not me. Not them. That was me saying that. Where did he have a gunshot wound? We don't know. I filled in that detail. Yeah, he had incredible work ethic. This is about Dr. John, who is deceased. He was found deceased. What about life insurance? I'm not sure, Roberta. I need to dig some more into that. Yeah, we thought that he was missing, and then 18 minutes after my live ended last night, they announced that he had been found deceased. So, it's craziness. Right, and then we're gonna talk about Harmony as well, right? I wanna watch the jury selection videos. He would likely not leave life insurance to his ex-wife. I wouldn't think so either, JDR. I don't think that the ex-wife has anything to do with this. I really don't. Um, I think that she would be the last person that would benefit. Like, she doesn't benefit from this at all, period. That's it, that's all. Um, it would have been left to his family, probably his children, maybe his brother, I don't know, sister, I'm not sure. But that's, like, the last person on my list of suspects is the ex-wife, because regardless, she was getting money every month forever. You live in a town over in talk as he had a lot more going on behind the scene, not for public knowledge. I could believe that, Darla. He was a doctor, 15K doesn't sound unreasonable. No, and honestly, he worked there for 15 years, so he was an established doctor in that hospital. The average salary, I looked it up last night, was between let me look again. I say it was like almost 400,000 was the cap for that area for an ER emergency room doctor. So it was like between like 260, I think, and 400,000 a year. Plus he was into the cryptocurrency. I feel like he had to be dumped after the weekend. That we were out there all weekend, tons of people camping and boating this past weekend. Maybe. I mean, we don't know time of death at this point. We're definitely going to keep following up. Definitely going to keep following up on this. Really seems like a professional hit. Organized crime must have thought he was cheating them. Maybe. I know that his oldest son is 23. I'm not sure of the age of the other children. Yeah, depending on how amicable the divorce, he may have kept his wife on insurance, knowing that she would take care of their kids. It's possible. Like I said, I read the judgment and he basically signed off on it. He didn't fight it at all. He just accepted it. Like, we don't know what broke up their marriage. I'm not sure. We know that he got engaged 2 days after his divorce was finalized. So, could infidelity have played into it? Could he have accepted his responsibility in breaking up the marriage and just, could have been amicable? If he had business on the side, he could make more money from that. He could. Hard to say. So, but I don't know, guys. We're gonna keep following up with it. I'm gonna keep digging. There's a lot more stuff that I want to know, and I'm sure that you guys have similar questions. I want to know more about this business partner that they had issues with. They're saying that it was somebody overseas, and that it shook him pretty bad whenever everything was going on, but what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that could somebody overseas have hired somebody to come here and do this? Like, how bad of an interaction did they have? Was it a complete and total, like, they stole this guy's money and ran with it type of situation, or made him lose a lot of money? Money makes people do crazy things. So, I'm leaning more towards the crypto side of things being the cause of this than I am the family. Yeah, conveniently overseas. I know, right, Daniel? Danielle? I pull up the Harmony, Montgomery stuff too because I wanna look at jury selection. This is our next trial that we're gonna be covering, and I'm running low on time, so let me pull this up, and we can take a look at this. My goodness. Hi, or hi, Jingles. Sorry.
If you have ever dreamed of having granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, but thought it was too expensive,
You want the stipulation to remain as is, even though you've null pros the felon in possession charges. Sure. It looked like the way the stipulation was written that it was for both.
Yes.
And I'm fine to read it that way too. I just wasn't sure whether you still wanted it that way.
Yeah, I didn't recognize until last evening of the conditional null pros on the felon in possession, but if it is not a charge, I agree that has to change.
It says conditional null pros, but I read that as a null pros. So I'm reading to them
Well, I mean,
Six
still doing the
charges.
Stipulation, Your Honor, so assuming that the stipulation is there, if for some reason that we had walked in this morning and the defendant had changed his mind and was pulling the stipulation, then obviously that's why I put down the term conditional null pros, because the understanding we're doing that was.
Okay, so just to give a little bit of insight, yes, Caroline, his business was crypto. That's exactly what it was. So just to give a little bit of insight into what happened, this was as soon as the cameras turned on this morning, we came into the situation where we were seeing the final matters of the court proceedings and things like that being settled prior to them going into the juror instructions and juror questions and things like that. And so this is what we started with this morning. I did watch it live on Lighting the Way Home from the Vanish this morning. BC, if you want to drop her link, go for it. And but so there's a couple little clips of what happened. Let me know you guys' opinion about this judge. Dynamite, I don't think there's a chance of unaliving in his case because of the fact that he was so far away, 60 miles. Like, how would he have gotten there on his own? I just don't see how that's possible. I just don't. There's no way he walked 60 miles and then unalived himself.
Knowing that there was going to be a stipulation.
Okay, if you
So.
that's fine, but okay, but I guess I'm telling them that he has 6 charges, 2 charges of armed career criminal, one with a shotgun, one with a rifle, the 2 receivings, and the 2 thefts, and not the felon in possession. I think that's fine if you want that stipulation in the file. I don't think there's a problem with that. I'm raising it because the parties might think it's superfluous, but
I agree. The first line, I'm looking at it again, but I agree. It included both, and I think the first line now goes out if the felon in possession is not part of it.
I think the second sentence would stay, first sentence would go out, that's what you're thinking.
That is what I was thinking.
So the first sentence out and the word further.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Okay, and then, so it's just going to say the parties stipulate, and that first sentence is out. And we can talk later about when you want this read. I don't think we have to do it now. But when I read the charges to them, I am just going to read under the applicable law. So I'm just going to read to them, Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 22nd, 2019, did knowingly have in his possession or under his control a rifle, having been convicted of any combination of 3 or more felonies in this state or any other state under the applicable law. And we'll do that for both of the armed career criminals. I think the receiving stolen properties and the thefts remain as is. Okay. I have your witness list, which I've combined for the reading into one. Everybody still thinks 5 to 7 days. That's because I like to give the jury an estimation of the number of days. Okay. Attorney Smith.
I think I estimated 2 for my witnesses. I might be down to about 1. So 5 to 7 days still.
Okay. Yeah, and I tell them that's just an estimate, that they should plan accordingly. I will also tell them that this case is going to start either today or tomorrow, depending on when we have a full complement of jurors. You look.
It's my understanding that we're starting tomorrow morning. That's when we have our jurors ready, our witnesses ready. That's going to start as well.
Yeah.
We're starting tomorrow.
Okay, so you don't want to, if we were to get everybody this morning, you don't want to do instructions or openings today. I had it as pick and go, which means, but it's fine. If you feel that tomorrow morning is, and that's when you're going to be ready, I'm fine with that.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'd almost like
Yeah.
to, but I wasn't expecting it, almost want to, but I
Okay.
think Thursday was the
Okay.
expectation.
We are selecting 3 alternates. So we'll in panel 15, we're going to seat 21 to start. As we said earlier, the alternates and the jury foreperson will be selected at random at the end of the case. Each side 20 minutes for panel voir dire. You received my bifurcated instructions. I know you don't have the actual charges in there. I have those now. That may change as we go forward, but no objections to the ones that I read before opening statements.
No.
Okay. I have your witness list. I'm going to tell the jurors now that we won't be having trial on Tuesday, the 6th. I just say the court has another commitment.
Oh, I thought last time you said that you might be able to get someone to cover, so we're back to no. And okay.
Okay.
Don't think I realized that, but okay.
Okay. All right. My apologies if there was some confusion. We couldn't get coverage, and so I'm going to just take that. I'll take that day for drug court, and we'll take that day off.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything there was one motion for reconsideration on one of the limine rulings. It had some additional facts, actually. So I do want to give you a chance to respond to that if you have anything to say about it. And probably I'll just issue an oral ruling once we've had argument. We don't have to do it now. We could do it this afternoon after we've picked.
I was about to say, especially if we finish before the end of the day, then I can address it before the end of the day.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I thought, we might want to address it before openings if we can, was my thought, that you all might want that. All right, anything else that we can accomplish this morning?
I think we're all set for this morning.
All right, well, when the jurors are ready, they're not ready yet, right? Okay. When they're ready, we'll bring him up, obviously, and then we will begin.
Okay, so that was the first part that they did this morning, and then they took like a 15-20 minute gap, and they got the jurors in the room, and they got Adam brought up into the room as well. So similar to how they did the Gannon Stout trial, you guys, they will not tell us the jurors' names. They are also not showing the jurors on camera for their privacy and their protection. This case is pretty big deal in Manchester, and so it's bringing all the press that they're not used to for just a simple weapons trial. This is not about Harmony's actual death. I want to stress that right now. However, I'm hoping that we hear details surrounding this case and through this trial that could lead to more information about this family, about what happened in the dynamics of the family. So this next part is the jury instructions, and she goes down through this. And this is the part where I think it's this one where I really started to miss Judge Warner. I think it's this part. There's just so much, there's so many questions, and it's just too much. Like, it's just not, I don't know how anybody followed it.
Jury selection this morning and the jury trial that we're about to select for today. We will be drawing a jury for one criminal case this morning. In a moment, I'm going to tell you the name of the case, the names of the people involved, the date the trial will begin, and the approximate number of days it's expected to last. Please listen carefully to all of this information. If your name is drawn and you know anyone involved in this case or have a conflict with a particular date, then I'll have you approach the bench if your name is called so that we can discuss that further. Can you raise your hand if you cannot hear me? Okay, very good. We're now going to draw a jury in the matter of.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but she said, once I read all of these questions, you're going to raise your hand if the answer to any of this is yes, and we're going to have you come up to my podium and we're going to chat. So they're not answering anything in front of each other. They have the entire jury pool in there. And instead of how Judge Warner would say, okay, you have vacation on this date to this date, what's going on? You have this work issue, you have a bias, like whatever, so that we were all able to hear it. She has them come up to her and talk out the whole situation. So this is why there's been no cameras after pretty much this part and the next part, because there's nothing they can put out. They can't put it on film because everybody's walking up there and approaching the bench. So unless they were to point it straight up to the ceiling, that would be the only way. But she didn't assign juror numbers or anything. She said that she would be calling their names. And so then you end up with this issue where each juror's name is getting said out loud, which the news can't record either. So I don't like her process. I don't like how she did this part. But again, I don't think they were prepared really for the fact that the media and everything else was going to be there for just a weapons trial. So I hope that through the court process itself that I learned to love her more, because I love seeing a strong woman in power, but I definitely miss Judge Gregg.
State of New Hampshire versus Adam Montgomery. In this case, the defendant is charged with 2 counts of armed career criminal, 2 counts of receiving stolen property, and 2 counts of theft by unauthorized taking. The charges read as follows. On the first count of armed career criminal, it states that Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 22nd, 2019, did commit the crime of armed career criminal in that Adam Montgomery did knowingly have in his possession or under his control a rifle, having been convicted of any combination of 3 or more felonies in this state or in any other state under the applicable law. The second count of armed career criminal reads as follows. Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 22nd, 2019, did commit the crime of armed career criminal in that Adam Montgomery did knowingly have in his possession or under his control a shotgun, having been convicted of any combination of 3 or more felonies in this state or in any other state under the applicable law. The next charge is 1 count of receiving stolen property. This states that Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 22nd, 2019, did commit the crime of receiving stolen property in that Adam Montgomery purposely received or retained the property of another, to wit, a shotgun firearm belonging to CF, knowing that it had been stolen or believing that it had probably been stolen with the purpose to deprive CF thereof. The second count of receiving stolen property reads as follows. Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 22nd, 2019, did commit the crime of receiving stolen property in that Adam Montgomery purposely received or retained the property of another, to wit, a rifle firearm belonging to CF, knowing that it had been stolen or believing that it had probably been stolen with a purpose to deprive CF thereof. The first count of theft by unauthorized taking or transfer reads as follows. Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 3rd, 2019, did commit the crime of theft by unauthorized taking or transfer in that Adam Montgomery purposely obtained or exercised unauthorized control over the property of another, to wit, Montgomery stole a shotgun firearm from CF's residence with a purpose to deprive CF thereof. The second count of theft by unauthorized taking or transfer reads as follows. Adam Montgomery, between approximately September 29th, 2019 and October 3rd, 2019, did commit the crime of theft by unauthorized taking or transfer in that Adam Montgomery purposely obtained or exercised unauthorized control over the property of another, to wit, Montgomery stole a rifle firearm from CF's residence with a purpose to deprive CF thereof. Those are the charges pending against the defendant for this trial. It is anticipated that this trial, will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. It is estimated that this trial will last approximately 5 to 7 days. This is just an estimate. Cases sometimes move more quickly than anticipated or take longer than originally expected. Therefore, if selected for this case, you should plan accordingly. We will not have trial on Tuesday, June 6th. The case will continue on Wednesday, June 7th, and be held every day thereafter until completed. If anyone has a problem or particular conflict with the schedule for this case, such that you believe you would not be able to sit as a juror if selected, then if your name is drawn, please approach the bench so that we can discuss the reason for your conflict and whether the court will excuse you or seat you on the jury. As you may know, a jury in the Superior Court consists of 12 jurors. We will also seat 3 alternates, so 15 individuals will be impaneled. A determination will be made at the end of the case as to which jurors will serve as alternates and the jury foreperson. So if you are seated in seat 13, 14, or 15, don't assume that you are the alternate. We will select the alternates at random at the end of the case. As we begin this process, we will seat 21 potential jurors, and the lawyers will then have an opportunity to address you and ask you some additional questions. The purpose of the selection process that we are about to engage in is to ensure a fair trial. Jurors should be free of any prejudice or bias which might interfere with your ability to decide this case based solely on the evidence presented at trial and the law which will be given to you by the court in its instructions. Will counsel for the state please stand and introduce yourselves to the potential jurors?
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Agati. I'm a senior assistant attorney general at the Criminal Justice Bureau at the Attorney General's office.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Knowles. I'm an attorney with the Attorney General's office that represents the people.
Will counsel for the defendant please stand and introduce yourselves to the jury?
Good morning, I'm Robin Davis. I represent Mr. Montgomery, Carolyn Smith, my co-counsel, and Mr. Adam Montgomery.
Granite State Solar is more than just a solar company.
As I said,
So then it goes into this last clip, and this goes down through more questions. So if she read the witness list, though, in between the two.
purpose is to ensure that the jury selected for this case is one that is fair and objective. As I go through the questions, please determine whether you have a yes answer to any of my questions. If so, then if your name is called, please come up to the bench so that you can discuss with me more privately and the attorneys the reason for the yes answer to the question. I will then make a determination if the reason for that answer will result in my excusing you from this particular case or whether you may be seated on this particular case. I recognize that in some instances, your reason for answering yes to a question may be of a personal or private nature and something that you would rather not discuss. However, please know that we are not trying to pry, but it may be necessary for us to ask you some additional questions so that we can select a jury that is entirely fair and impartial. It is essential, therefore, that you are completely honest and candid in your answers. If your name is drawn and you do not have a yes answer to any of my questions, then you may proceed to come forward and take a seat in the jury box where indicated by our court officer. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions are as follows. Do you disagree with or have any mental reservation concerning the following principle of law? The indictment is merely a charge. It is the manner in which this defendant is brought to trial. It is not evidence of guilt, and no unfavorable inference may be drawn against the defendant merely because he is charged with the crime. Do you disagree with or have any mental reservations concerning the following principle of law? This defendant, as well as all defendants in criminal cases, is presumed to be innocent.
How these jurors keep all these questions in their mind for the very end. Like, I'm already lost. I forgot the first minute already. And she does this for the whole way down through. The whole way down through.
Until proven guilty. This presumption of innocence continues throughout the trial and entitles this defendant to be acquitted, that is, found not guilty, unless and until the jury, after deliberation, finds that his guilt has been established beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you disagree with or have any mental reservation concerning the following principle of law? The burden of overcoming the presumption of innocence rests entirely with the state, and before this defendant can be convicted, all 12 members of the jury must be convinced from the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed the crime charged. Do you disagree with or have any mental reservation concerning the following principle of law? The defendant is under no obligation to introduce any evidence whatsoever. That is, he is not obligated to prove his innocence. The defendant has the right to choose not to testify in his own defense, and his choice not to testify cannot be used in any manner as evidence of his guilt. Are you related by blood or marriage to the defendant, counsel, or any of the witnesses in this case? Do you expect to gain or lose anything as a result of what your verdict might be in this case? Do you employ any of the attorneys who are engaged in this trial or any of their partners or associates in any matter of your own? Have you ever had any dealings with counsel in this case, the defendant, or any of the witnesses? Have you or a close member of your family ever been the victim of a crime? Have any of the counsel in this case ever represented anyone in any matter in which you were involved? Are you under any obligation, financially or otherwise, to the defendant, counsel, or the witnesses in this case? Do you know the defendant, the witnesses, or counsel? Do you know anything about the facts of this case, or have you read or heard anything about this case? Have you advised or assisted either the state or the defendant in this case in any way relating to this case or in the preparation of this case? Have you directly or indirectly given or formed any opinion about this case, the defendant, the witnesses, their counsel, or this type of case?
Only 3 minutes in. Do you remember all the questions yet? I couldn't imagine, like, because they're gonna have to walk up there and they're gonna have to give her their yes answers for this list that she read off. And to me, this seems like it's gonna be much more time consuming because instead of addressing it 1 or 2 points at a time, we're reading all of it at once. Are you gonna have to repeat the questions to each juror that comes up to talk to you? Because I feel like that's what would happen if it was me.
Have you heard anyone express an opinion about this defendant, this case, or this type of case? Do you belong to or contribute toward any organization which involves itself in taking public positions relative to matters that might be involved in this case? Are you aware of any prejudice against the defendant, counsel, or the parties, or any prejudice whatsoever that you might have? Are you now or have you ever been a police officer or engaged in law enforcement or a member of any police commission? Or are you in any way related to persons engaged in that activity? Do you have any moral, religious, or personal convictions relative to this type of offense which might influence what your verdict might be in this case? Do you know of any reason whatsoever why you cannot sit and hear the evidence in this case and render a true and honest verdict under your oath according to the facts as you find them to be and in accordance with the law as the court will give it to you? Do you believe that because the defendant has been charged with this crime, he is probably guilty and therefore must present evidence to prove that he is innocent? Ladies and gentlemen, there has been news and social media coverage of the investigation into the disappearance of a child named Harmony Montgomery, the daughter of Adam Montgomery, as well as charges against Mr. Montgomery for her death. Because the coverage has been so significant and because Mr. Montgomery has been charged with causing Harmony's death, I must ask you, each of you, are you aware of or been exposed to that coverage? And to think about and consider the impact that that information has had on you. That matter is not in front of you. Like the charge before you, Mr. Montgomery is presumed innocent of any allegations involving Harmony Montgomery. However, I need to know if anything you have read or heard about the investigation into the death of Harmony Montgomery will affect you sitting as a juror on this case. If you feel that you have been affected by the coverage regarding Harmony Montgomery, or that you have developed an opinion regarding that investigation, or that you have thoughts or feelings about Mr. Montgomery based on what you have heard about the investigation, I need to know. I also need to know if you believe you have learned anything about Mr. Montgomery himself as a result of the coverage of that investigation, such as his prior history, prior activities, or prior statements. Just as you are instructed to approach the bench if you have a yes answer to any of the other questions, if your name is called and you have developed an opinion or have any thoughts or feelings about Mr. Montgomery based on what you have read or heard about the investigation surrounding Harmony Montgomery, or if you believe you have learned something about Mr. Montgomery himself, you must approach the bench if your name is called so that we can discuss that further.
Okay, so that's where they left it today. That's it. They have not come back to update us yet or not. We're kind of waiting on that because this was supposed to be over at 1:30. So I'm not sure where this stands, but court is supposed to start at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So I will be streaming starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we will hopefully see opening statements and things like that, and that jury selection will be over. See, you've done lost what she was even talking about. I know, right? She took all of Judge Warner's questions, like all the standard jury questions, and instead of asking them one or two at a time and getting answers, she asked them all at once. I mean, 6 hours worth of questions asked all together. So it's like I got lost. Like my ADHD was like, "Nope. We're done. We're done after a few minutes." So I'm interested to see, obviously the instructions are that Harmony's case is not to cross over with this, but like we have Elijah Lewis's mom is testifying, Kayla Montgomery will be testifying, and different things. So it should be a very interesting trial. I will be here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I haven't talked to PJ yet, but PJ and I will be doing discussions on her channel in the afternoons and evenings following court, similar to how criminality followed up in the afternoons with Gannon, or allegedly with Brittany. PJ intends to do panels and follow up in the evenings on her channel. We also are looking at a situation where Friday I am going to be out of town, and I haven't talked to PJ yet, but I'm hoping that PJ will be able to stream Friday's court because I cannot. So other than that, I will be here, but Friday is a no-go for me. Yeah, we were all spoiled by Judge W. Nobody will compare ever again, Carrie. Every trial that I watch for the rest of my life, I'll be like, well, there's no Judge Greg. Where was our Denver omelet in those jury instructions? I didn't hear it, not once. And not only did I not hear the Denver omelet, but I didn't hear about, my nagging wife at home or any of that. So yeah, Harmony will she'll cross over. I know that we're gonna hear different things about her. There's just no way we won't. So that's where I'm at with it. Hi, Delana. How are you? Yeah, we've missed you too. So that's the game plan though. With all of this, this guy needs to rot. Everything that he's done has just been awful. I will say the one person that we heard the name read earlier from the witness list was Tabby Scott. They had kind of like muted out and then came back, and whenever they did, it was right whenever they were saying Tabby Scott's name, which I didn't understood why they blocked off the witness list anyways, because it's public information and it's on their website. So I don't know, but we will see what happens tomorrow, bright and early, 9 a.m., and I hope to see you guys all here for that. In the meantime, I'm going to keep digging into Dr. John, and I'm going to try to get a more organized presentation put together for you guys. For those of you who came in late and stuff, Dr. John is a doctor that I covered as a missing person last night. 18 minutes after I finished my live, he was found deceased. Or they announced that he had been found deceased. And so we talked about him at the beginning of this case. He was an ER doctor who did cryptocurrency on the side, and he was found shot. So 60 miles from where he was last seen, mind you. So going to be a murder investigation, I'm going to assume, in that, because I just don't see how he would have got that far without help. I just don't see how it could have happened. So going to be following up with that one as well. I got to do some more digging into his business. I really think that that's what this is going to end up stemming from. So we'll look, and perhaps during lunch break or something tomorrow we can talk about that. So Yeah, I hope to see you all in the morning. Absolutely. I love you guys. I'm excited for this. You know, it's just the beginning of justice, and I really think this is to make sure that if Adam, for some reason, for some way, shape, or form, is able to get out of his charges against him for Harmony, you know, he won't be able to escape this. There is no way. And this is up to 70 years in prison. So either way, this is the rest of his life. Good, good. Hey, 9 a.m. Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern. Let's watch this one too. This one actually has Adam in it. So let's see what this clip is.
It's time to make your backyard your favorite place to be. Experience hours of family fun and relaxation in a new.
Yeah, that's correct, Jane. This case is about a stolen rifle and shotgun and whether or not Adam Montgomery is responsible. Now, Adam Montgomery faces a total of 6 charges in this case, including 2 counts of being an armed career criminal, theft by unauthorized taking, and receiving stolen property. A pool of more than 100 prospective jurors listed as the judge asked them if they might have any conflicts or if they could sit impartially in this case. Among the questions, a list of nearly 60 potential witnesses, the judge asking jurors if they knew any of them. The trial is expected to last from 5 to 7 days, and a total of 12 jurors and 3 alternates will eventually be chosen. And even though this trial is not about the death of Harmony Montgomery, the judge wanted jurors to be sure that they wouldn't be influenced by that.
Because the coverage has been so significant and because Mr. Montgomery has been charged with causing Harmony's death, I must ask you, each of you, are you aware of or been exposed to that coverage? And to think about and consider the impact that that information has had on you. That matter is not in front of you.
Prior to jury selection, the judge issued a number of rulings, many favorable to the defense. For instance, they'll be able to argue that someone else took the weapons. And Adam Montgomery's estranged wife, Kayla, is expected to testify against him. The defense will be able to point out that she pled guilty to 2 counts of perjury. Now, at last check, about 5 minutes ago, 18 potential jurors had been seated. What they will do is get a pool of 21, and from that, the final 15 will be chosen. Assuming they do get the jury seated today, opening statements are scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer.
That was updated as of 12:20, which was about 2 hours ago. No, hour and a half ago. And he said that there was 18 seated, so they needed 3 more out of the pool. So that's actually really good considering, like I said, this entire process. Figure she read 60 witness names to them as well as all of those questions. And so, wow. I can't. I would have been like, "Excuse me, judge, can I have a written copy of everything that you're saying so I can keep track or read it myself? Can I take notes? Something." I don't know. Yeah, me too. Tired of seeing innocent children harmed by the hands of the very same folks that are supposed to be protecting them. Yeah, Harmony's entire story is just infuriating to me. I get so frustrated every time I think about it. Her and Ariel Sellers, I think, are the 2 cases that and Gannon. There's 3 cases. The 3 cases that I think have truly touched my heart and bothered me and moved me more emotionally, I would say, than everything else that I have covered. And it's not to say that other cases are lesser than them. It's just the way that things have affected me. And I think Harmony's case, for me, it's just the utter failure. The whole way across the board. Just the utter and complete failure of everything and everyone that surrounded this child. The failure of the system and the process and the judge to sign the paperwork to ensure that the ICPC was in place and that she would have some sort of follow-up care. The failure of her lawyer, her mom's lawyer, and Adam's lawyer to sit there and advocate for her to go to this home with Adam against the CASA's recommendation that was saying, or against, I'm sorry, the CPS person's recommendation that Adam not get custody because he had only spent 6 physical hours in contact with Harmony prior to him taking her into his care. 6 hours. That was it. And then the fact that prior to that, she was never put up for adoption. You know, Crystal Sorey lost custody. This child spent more time with foster parents, more time in the system than she ever did at home. And the fact that she was never put up for adoption to a real family that could have loved and cared for her and all the things over all of those years, it's so infuriating. And if you haven't watched anything from Harmony's case, I do have a playlist on her that you guys can watch. I know that PJ probably has a playlist as well. PJ is local to the area, guys. She lives right there. She has been on the news doing vigils and things like that. And so this case is amazingly close to her heart as well. And so we've both been following it since the beginning. But it's just the utter failure the whole way across the board. Nobody cared about Harmony Montgomery except for her brother, Jameson. That was it. And her foster parents, of course, you know, who raised her. Her every happy, smiling picture you see of this child came from with her foster parents. You know, all of them. And so it's just devastating the whole way across the board how much she was truly failed. It's awful. But yeah, I agree. There needs to be a full investigation into all the failures. There actually has been. We actually read on one of the live streams that I did. It was like a 30-page report, I think, of the different things that happened in her case. And it detailed, you know, every time she went in and out of custody. It detailed every time that she was failed, every wrong move made by DCFS in this area. They did an investigation into themselves. And it sucks. The whole way around it sucks. You have a feeling this trial is going to be long if she resides over the one in November. Maybe, yeah. But I wish the Millers would have had a chance, True Crime with Shannon, to adopt her like they adopted Jameson, because they've been doing amazing with him. They really have. So, no, it's okay. It's okay. This is the report came out, I want to say it was several months after she went missing, and a lot of the creators who were covering her case and things like that had fallen off by the time that the reports came out. And so a lot of people didn't cover it. You know, they cover cases while they're hot, and then they don't follow up. They don't continue to cover them. And so that's basically what happened. You know, these reports never really got read by very many people, and a lot of people missed it. A lot of people. But I remember reading one of the things that they said in the reports was the fact that nobody opposed her going except for the worker. And so that's part of why she was placed with Adam. And it's specifically said that Crystal Sorey's lawyer advocated and said that Adam would be a good father for her. Crystal Sorey has then since said that she never said that she never told her lawyer to advocate for her to go to Adam and all these different things. You know, she's made up all kinds of lies and excuses and things like that, but it's in black and white. It's in the writing. The reports don't lie. The reports don't lie. And it says exactly what happened that day in court. And so she can say that, like, no, she didn't want her to go there, and she knew Adam was a monster, and she's detailed different abusive type situations and things like that. But at the end of the day, she did not stop her daughter from going there. She did not advocate against her going there. So it was really, really frustrating. So But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I do have to get off here. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for coming. If you're interested in the information about Dr. John, it is at the beginning. If you need more detailed information than that, last night, my live stream, I talked about Nikki for a few minutes. I'm going to say maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then we dug into Dr. John. And so if you need the basic details of Dr. John's case, they were last night. Today, I'm going to put together a nice, beautiful spreadsheet. I'll type something up so that we can talk about his case again tomorrow through lunch break, and I can have it on the screen that, like, the details of exactly what happened, who he was, where he was from, you know, all the things, because I was not prepared for that today. But I also wasn't expecting to see so many of you. So I am glad that you all made it, though, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Who's in charge of bringing coffee? Because I have a feeling we're going to need it. Coffee and donuts. We got to elect some individuals to bring it in, because we're going to be needing it. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye.